Hello students, in the previous video we have discussed about conditional constructs and we knew about what are conditional constructs. So basically in previous video we have seen that there are two types of conditional construct. One is if-else statement and the second is switch statement. Once again today we are going to discuss the same thing, same topic, some more about the conditional construct. But first of all, I would like to revise the previous concept of if-else statement. So once again, I am going to write the general syntax of if-else statement. What is the general syntax and how do we implement? What is the basic concept behind its execution? So general syntax of if-else statement. This is also known as if-else else statement. So general syntax, first of all we start with if, then inside if we have to give the condition. After that we have to give the opening curly bracket, then the statements to be executed, and then closing bracket of this if. This is opening bracket of if and this is closing bracket. Opening and closing means whatever written within these two braces will be the part of this if statement. After that, if we have 2, 3, 4, 5 conditions, then we'll use else if condition. Again, for each section we have to give the opening curly bracket, statements to be executed, closing. Again, else if condition, statements, and so on. Finally, at last, we have to give else. Here are the statements. Closing. Clear? It means this complete starting from if to else is called if block. This is called if block. What is the basic concept behind its execution? First of all, as the control come to if statement, condition will be checked, and after checking the condition, if the condition is true, the control will enter inside if and all the statements written within it will execute. And after execution of all the statements inside it, the control will come outside the if block. But what happens if this first condition is false? If this condition is false, then the control will come to else statement if the condition is false. Again, this condition will be checked, and if this is true, the control will enter inside it, and after that all the statements will be executed. Again, after executing all the statements, the control will be outside the if block. Further, no condition will be checked. Further, no condition will be checked. This is most important point. After being any one condition true and execution of the statements inside it, the control will be outside and further no condition will be checked. This is the most important point. And then, what happens if this condition is again false? Again the control will be transferred to the next condition when the previous condition is false. In this way, the control will move till the else statement if all the statements written before it will be false. This false, this false, this false, then it will go to else statement. So else execute at last. Suppose you have 3 or 4 situations in your life. आपने किसी फ्रेंड के साथ, कुछ फ्रेंड के साथ आपने एक प्लान बनाया कि पिकनिक पे जाना है. सपोज 3 लड़का है, तीनों में से किसी कोई भी एक लड़का अगर आ जाता है तो हम पिकनिक पे जाएंगे. तो चेक करोगे पहला लड़का आया या नहीं आया. यही है फर्स्ट कंडीशन. फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट, फर्स्ट फ्रेंड आया या नहीं आया. अगर नहीं आया तो अगले पे चलेंगे, अगला भी नहीं आया तो फिर अगले पे चलेंगे. इस तरह से हम लास्ट तक चलेंगे. This is the main concept. Now let us see some implementations on this if-else construct. So In the previous video we have discussed two programs. I think first program was write a program to check whether a number is positive, negative or 0, and the second, write a program to check whether a number is two-digit number or not. Let us discuss one more program. First program. Write a program to check whether a number is greater, smaller or equal to 10. Means we have a number and we have to check whether this number is greater than 10, smaller than 10 or equal to 10. We have to check it. How to proceed? Start with class CL, public static void main string AR. These are the basic syntax which will remain in all the programs. Now we have a number int I. Declare a variable I of integer type for the number. Now store some value in I. You can use any value. It depends on you that what you want to take. Suppose 15. Now we have to check. We have three different situations. First situation, number greater than 10. Second situation, number less than 10. And third situation, number equal to 10. So let's discuss the first situation. First situation is number greater than 10. How will you write it in your programming? Number is greater than 10. This will be checked as if number greater than 10. Start curly bracket and write system.out.println greater than 10. Close. Situation complete and processing is also complete. Now the next is number less than 10. If number is not greater than 10, then we will check whether the number is smaller than 10. So for the next we will write else if number less than 10 system.out.println smaller than 10. Okay. Now let's discuss the third situation. What happens in our real life if a number is neither greater than 10 nor smaller than 10? Then what is the next situation? Obviously the number will be 10. You don't need to compare it with 10 again. Two comparisons have been already performed. One for greater and the second for a smaller. If these two conditions becomes false, it means in the first if number greater than 10 becomes false. In second, number smaller than 10 becomes false. What does it mean? Number greater than 10 false, number smaller than 10 false. What does it mean? It means number is neither greater than 10 nor smaller than 10. It means here is obviously a third situation that number will be equal to 10. So, else system.out.println equal to 10. Okay, all the situations have been discussed here. So in this way we can think and proceed with our programming. Now let's discuss one more program. Next question is write a program to check whether a number is even or odd. Whether a number is even or odd. Mathematically, I told you in the previous video that first of all we have to think about that problem is related with what concept. Actually, this problem is related with mathematical concept. Clear? So first of all think about the concept of mathematics. What is the concept of mathematics for even or odd? That if a number is divisible by 2, the number will be even. And if the number is not divisible by 2, that will be odd. It's very simple concept. But how can you say that the number is divisible by 2? If after dividing a number by 2 you get the remainder 0, after dividing a number by 2, if you get the remainder 0, the number will be divisible by 2, and in that case the number will be even. Means, suppose we are talking about 10, how can you say that 10 is even? First of all, you divide this 10 by 2, 2 5s are 10, remainder is 0. Then this 10 is even. In our programming, we will proceed with this concept. What do we need? First of all, we need a number, and then we have to get the remainder after division by 2. So, let's proceed. Class CL, public static void main string AR, declare variables int I for the number, and again we have to get the remainder, so j for the remainder. Okay, now suppose I equal to 10. First of all, you have to get the remainder, and how do you get remainder in programming? You get the remainder by using this modulus sign. This is called a modulus sign. By using this sign, you get the remainder. So, how will you get the remainder? J equal to I modulus, and you have to divide with 2. So, I modulus 2. Now, you have to compare this remainder, that whether the remainder is equal to 0 or not. So, how will you compare? If j equal to 0. Remember this sign, this double equal to sign. In a relational operator, we have already discussed this type of sign. Relational operator, less than equal to. What is it? Relational operator, less than equal to, greater than equal to, double equal to, and not equal to. This is used to check greater, this is used to check greater or equal, this is used to check a small, this is used to check a smaller, this is used to check a smaller or equal, this is used to check greater, this is used to check greater or equal, this is for equality, whether the two numbers are equal or not. So for equality, and this is not equal, means the two numbers are not equal. So these are the relational operators. To compare the two numbers, we have to compare the two numbers. First number is j and the second number is 0. First number is j and the second number is 0. We have to compare these two, whether these two are equal or not. For that we will use this double equal to sign. Clear? So, if j equal to 0, system.out.println even number, else means j is not equal to 0. If j is not equal to 0 means remainder is not equal to 0, and remainder is not equal to 0 means the number is not divisible by 2. The number is not divisible by 2, the number will be odd. So else system.out.println odd number. This is double quote, not 4, double quote, close main and close class. These are compulsory. You must have to close class and main function and class. Okay. So this is to check whether a number is even or odd. Let's discuss one more problem like this type of one more problem. Question is, write a program to check whether a number is divisible by 5 or not. Divisible by 5 or not. Divisible by 5. How can you check the number is divisible by 5? Again you have to apply the same condition as in the case of even or odd. Suppose you have a number 15. Let's discuss the mathematical concept. You have a number 15. You have to check whether it is divisible by 5. So first of all, what do? You divide the number by 5. 5 3s are 15. remainder is 0, you say that the number is divisible by 5. Suppose in case of 17, you divide by 5, 5 3s are 15, you get the remainder 2. If you get the remainder except 0, you say that the number is not divisible. If you get the remainder except 0, you say that the number is not divisible. We have to implement the same concept. How will you proceed? Class CL, public static void main, string AR. First of all, declare a number and then for remainder. Suppose I equal to 17. J equal to, first of all, you have to get the remainder after division by 5. I modulus 5. How will you get the remainder? By using this modulus sign. And this time you have to check divisibility by 5. So here the divisor will be 5. Now compare. If J means remainder. Remainder is stored in J. So while writing J, you have to keep in mind that J is the remainder. J equal to 0 system dot out dot println divisible by 5 else, and if this condition is false, if J equal to 0, if this condition is false, what does it mean? If remainder is not equal to 0, condition is false means remainder is not equal to 0. Actually what happens here? Here are only two situations. One is true and the second is for false. If true, then this, false, else. So if you have only two situations, then you will use if else. If else, as in the previous case, even or odd. You had only two situations, even or odd. For that case, you will use only if else. But if you have more than two situations, then you will use if else. Clear? Now else system dot out dot println not divisible by 5. Okay, this is the concept. Now let us check one more program. This program will be a little bit longer, but is very easy. First of all, let us see the question, then we will discuss on that. Write a program to print day name according to day number, assuming Monday as the first day of the week. First, discuss the question. Write a program to print day name. Day name means like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Day name according to day number. Day number means we have to assume Monday as the first day of the week. Means if day number is 1, the program should print Monday. If day number equal to 2, then program should print Tuesday. If day number is 3, then program should print Wednesday. In this way, we have to make the program. So for day number, in this case, we will declare a variable only for the day number. Start the program. Class CL, public static void main string AR. Declare a variable for day number. Day number is 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be obviously of integer type. int I. Now store some value in I. Suppose I equal to 5, whatever, you can use any value. In each program I am telling you that you can store any value without any thinking. Now start comparison. How will you start? If I equal to 1, start with 1. Day number should be started with day number should be 1, not 0. So compare with 1. If I equal to 1, system.out.println Monday. Okay. Else if I equal to 2, system.out.println Tuesday. Else if, what are you looking? We have more than two situations. That's why we are using else if after if. Else if I equal to 3, system.out.println Wednesday. Else if I equal to 4, system.out.println Thursday. Now I am writing here, else if I equal to 6, system.out.println Friday. Else if I equal to 7, 5, this is 5, 4, I equal to 4, this is 5 and this will be 6. System.out.println Saturday, close, I am closing here. Else if, I am writing here else if I equal to 7, system.out.println Sunday. All the situations have been discussed, but it may be also possible that the user can store 15 instead of 5. User can store 15 instead of 5, but 15th day is not a day name. So what will happen in that case? In that case, we have to give a situation for invalid entry. What happens sometimes? So if you enter some username and password while login in Gmail or Yahoo or any other website, what happens? If your password is wrong, then what happens? The website gives a message that invalid username or password, or your username or password is not correct. This type of message you are getting. So everywhere you have an option for invalid entry. So here again we'll have to give the option for invalid entry. So for that, else, after except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 user, if user stored any value, that will be an invalid entry. So that will go in else system.out.println invalid entry, else close, main close, class close. So this is all about if else. So I think for today this is enough, otherwise a lot of concept may confuse you. So I am closing the video, stopping the video here. Next day we'll discuss some more problems on if else statement. So before that, you have to make revision of all these concepts continuously, regularly, on daily basis. Daily basis means daily you have to give at least 15 to 20 minutes on this programming. Clear? Thank you.